Hello ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you the third set of STX Seoul versus Air Force Ace. This series is tied 1-1, Calm getting the win for STX Seoul, Ruby getting the win for Air Force Ace. So going on to the third game, it's going to be Cal versus the Mantoss Reach on Heartbreak Ridge. So, I didn't get a chance. I just realized that I totally forgot at the beginning of Calm versus Go Rush. The game got started so quickly, I totally forgot to give like my match predictions and over who would win the whole thing, particularly trying to come up with a way for Ace to come away with the win. Kind of started talking about it towards the end of the last set. But yeah, honestly, I don't watch any of the games before I cast them. So my prediction of Calm beating Go Rush and Ruby having to beat Washington, that came up before I watched the game, so don't think I'm going back and just like fixing my story or anything. But I really honestly think that for Air Force Ace to really come up with a win here, they needed that win from Ruby, and I don't think that they can really count on a win from Reach here. My apologies to the Mantoss, but Cal is just a phenomenal player, and if Reach wins, that really is an upset. And they're going to need a win from their Terran player, Dark Elf, in the fourth set against Shuttle. And then going to an Ace match on Tornado. Tornado has been a Zerg favored map, so if they send out a Zerg, they pretty much have to send out Go Rush again against, for STX, Calm is a great player. They also have Buy Hero, so I think they might have some other options as well. So they've got some good choices there for ZVZ as well, and I think that's going to be a problem there. I think Dark Elf can come away with the win against Shuttle. It's possible, but the problem is really going to be a ZVZ on Tornado. Where how do they really match up against a Calm or a Buy here? That's going to be a problem. But before we even get there, it's first going to be Cal versus Reach on Heartbreak Ridge. We're getting started right now, and let's get you the start position. This is of course Heartbreak Ridge. There's only two start spots, and we've got Gajilla, aka Cal, on the right. In they're going to change the colors in yellow, and I refuse to call him Gajilla. I know why he changed his name from Cal to Gajilla because of the clan name Cal, but he is Cal. I can't call him Gajilla. It just seems kind of wrong. And then we're going to have Oops Reach on the left. I think it's hilarious that there's a clan name called Oops, by the way. That's just awesome. On the left in red. So, Heartbreak Ridge. You guys all know Heartbreak Ridge, I would hope by now. It's a veteran map. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to use veteran map. I think it's a good term from last season. Heartbreak Ridge and Outsider reappearing this season. And there's some very established statistics on it. I think most of you guys will know most of the features, the lower ramps, the upper ramps, the narrow choke from your main to your natural, all that stuff, the temples in the corners. Yeah, you guys know it all. Don't really need to explain it to you. You guys are smart fellas. But this is going to be a PvP. And I'm really curious to see what Reach decides to do. I think Cal will play something quite standard. Reach usually, I have to say, from watching a lot of his PvPs over the last year or so, since he's come back, year and a half maybe, he usually plays pretty standard as well, going for Zealot Goon combinations along, and then throwing in either usually Reavers. I think he goes Reavers more than he does Dark Templars. I think Reach plays very, very, we call him the Mantoss for a reason. He plays very, very honorable. He really just plays straightforward for the most part. He's not a real tricky player, but he has solid mechanics. He has very, very good strategy, and that's his main way of beating you. Is through solid strategy and mechanics, and those are his strengths. He usually doesn't come up with super creative cheeses, and he's not really gonna revolutionize the world with a new build either. But he's entertaining to watch, enjoyable to watch, great to cheer for. And we'll see what he can do here. Both players throwing up, or scouting at the same time, and throwing up mana pylons at the same time as well. And Cal trying to be a pest with his probe, and that's really what you see from the top Protosses now, is you see excellent harassment from those probes. Reach trying to do the same here, Cal more or less ignoring it. And both players, I think, produced a Zealot here. We see Cal producing a Zealot. I assume that Reach will produce one as well. Recently, I've seen that most players are not skipping Zealots at all on the pro level. Most players are building Zealots. Yes, Reach did as well, to usher away these early probe harassments, and just to not even usher them away, since Zealots, are very, very ineffective at that, since you pretty much have to wait for Dragoons, but just makes it so that way your opponent can't send a Zealot into your base and wreak havoc. That is definitely something that can happen in a PvP if you allow your opponent to get a Zealot, and it can just wander in, and it takes so long to kill a Zealot with just probes, and even with the Dragoon it can take a while, that Zealot can get several kills and really get a huge advantage. So most players, for the most part that I've been seeing, have been getting early Zealots, sometimes even 2 Zealots. I think, yeah, it looks like Cal's actually getting a second Zealot here, just to make sure that doesn't happen, and Reach producing a second Zealot as well, so I'm looking quite smart here, which is always great. Anytime you have a chance to look smarter and on your game, it always feels good. But it looks like Reach is going to be researching Dragoon range, and once his first Dragoon pops, both players producing going for Dragoon range. And mostly I'm interested to see, once these first probes go down, if either player decides to cancel Dragoon range and go for a scary, not a scary build, but a hidden build, change up their entire strategy there. And it looks like another pylon, pseudo-manner pylon. Don't know if it's actually effective or not. That was look really weird. And Cal able to kill Reach's probe, but Cal was able to retreat his probe. Just barely got it away. 1 hit away from getting away. Yeah, that was a manner pylon by Reach, forcing some probes to kind of wander all the way in circles. Hopefully Cal cancels it. Yeah, Cal is going to cancel it. So both players, and it looks like Reach actually did cancel that Cybernetic score. So he's going to be going Citadel of Noon, going to be going Dark Templar. So if he proves me wrong, he is going to go for a little bit more of a sneakier build here. Right after I say that he doesn't usually go for sneaky builds, of course he goes for one. I should have just assumed that would happen. And it looks like Cal's going to be going Robotic Facility. We'll see if this is for Observers or for Reavers. If this is for Observers, this is going to be really, really tough for Reach. He's going to be in huge trouble. And if it's for Reavers, we'll see. We'll see whether or not, how much damage Reach is able to do, how quickly he can get his DTs over there. And Reach playing very smart, throwing up a pylon in the bottom left. Not so much to really worry about mining out those minerals. That's more of something that you'll see when Zergs are in the game. When it's a Zerg versus Protoss, you'll see Protoss players worry about that sort of thing. But it's more for vision. If shuttles come into play, if he's assuming that his opponent is going to go Reavers, then he's worried that, hey, you know, with a pylon here, I get a little bit more vision, get some more map understanding, and can really detect when a shuttle is coming in. So that's the advantage you see there. You see a lot of Protoss players do this nowadays. See them throwing up pylons at the corners of their bases, sometimes even outside of their bases in odd locations. And Cal actually going for an observatory here, so this DT build by Reach is not going to be very effective. Once Cal's going to produce that first observer, going to see that the DTs are coming out, and is going to be able to really hopefully position that observer correctly, position that observer well, and really take advantage of the of Reach's gambit here, and just try and take those down. And if he can take those down, that'll be a really bad day for Reach. And it looks like Cal's also throwing down his robotic support bay here, and has also produced a shuttle. And that shuttle going to the bottom right, I wonder if it's actually dropping off a probe maybe to do an expansion over there, kind of like a hidden expansion that Cal doesn't see. And no, he's just wandering around to the bottom left. Let's see. He doesn't actually have any zealots, so maybe this is his 2 or 3 zealots that he produced earlier. And now Cal should know that those are DTs. Cal, what are you doing? Cal should have seen. Yeah, he did see those DTs, and he is going to block off his choke there. And Cal, this is going to be bad. Reach's DTs are going to be trapped. And yeah, the first DT goes down. The second DT is probably going to get to live. In fact, looking at the timing of that DT might actually be able to slip by Cal's forces and get into Cal's base. And Reach, oddly enough, throwing up a couple photon cannons. I gotta say, you don't see photon cannons in PvP very, very often at all, especially early on. You see them sometimes later on. Once they start getting up to like third base, you'll start to see some photon cannons show up, and you'll also see them if someone's afraid of DTs. But didn't expect to see them from Reach here. But he actually is going to go straight into High Templar tech. You're going to start getting some storms out, and Cal going for the opposite of an elevator, a depressor, I don't know, a depressor trick, I don't know what to call it. And going to shuttle some Dragoons down into Cal's base, and into Reach's base, and he's actually got a Dragoon advantage here. He's got 6 Dragoons to do, Reach's 3, Reach's 2, and now Cal's going to be able to do some damage. Reach coming back with some High Templar. If those have some storms, if they have storms, I don't think they should not have stormed yet, though. I don't think they